All right, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Hopefully the audio is good. Hopefully the video is good. I'm not sure what happened the first time around. It said the resolution on the camera wasn't what it should be, but I checked the resolution, so I don't know what that is all about. Hey, North Jersey Detector, how are you? So how is the audio? How's the video? This is really an impromptu stream. I didn't quite expect to do this. So let's see. Lincoln Central Coins. Can you give me a thumbs up or tell me? Oh, there you go. Video and audio is great. Okay, excellent. Well, what I want to do, I thought I would do something a little bit different this time around. Some of you might know that I'm interested in what's called mailbox prospecting. It's buying gold bearing, hopefully, gold bearing pay dirt concentrates and panning it to get the gold. And mailbox prospecting is it's fun. It's easy. It doesn't have the adventurous claim to it like going out to a stream and panning for gold, and that's fine. Hopefully someday I'll have a chance to do that. But for now, this has been a fun way to get started in the gold panning hobby, and yeah, hopefully one day I'll make it out to a claim. But for now, this is how I'm doing it. And let's see. What I have is a bag of Tom's gold dirt. This is the first bag that I bought from Tom, and I've heard good things about his pay dirt. In fact, a few fellow mailbox prospectors recommended his gold dirt to me, so I thought I would give it a try. And I thought I'd record this as a live stream just to see how it goes. Now, let's see. Before I begin, I should mention a couple of things. The first is uh, that, well, how should I put it? Some pay dirts have a guaranteed minimum amount of gold. Okay, so that's to say some sellers will add gold to the pay dirt to be sure that you get something of value. And this bag of Tom's gold dirt has a guaranteed minimum 0.5 grams of gold in it. So there may be more, but there should be at least half a gram. And what one person gets in a bag doesn't mean that the next person will. So you're not guaranteed to get the same amount. Some will get more, some will get less. But in the case of Tom's gold dirt, you're guaranteed to get at least half a gram. And I really go into this with a hobbyist's eye. I totally do it for fun, and I do it for the experience. Any gold that I get, in a sense, is a bonus. But that being said, when you buy a bag of pay dirt, you hope you'll get some gold out of it. And I'm still developing my panning techniques. So there might be some people who view this who think, what the devil is this guy doing? But again, it's for fun. Now, I do pan each bag at least twice, and typically 3 times. So I always save the leftover concentrates just in case I miss something the first time around. But if you do a decent job, you should retrieve the majority of the gold the first time panning. And you may get some additional gold the second time around, the smaller gold that you missed the first time. Now, let's see. So I guess onward we go. As far as what I have, well, first I should say I'm doing this in my office of all places. I usually do this at my bench, but of course I can't live stream from my workbench. What I have is this is an 8-gallon Rubbermaid container, and it has water in it, obviously, and it has jet dry. Jet dry is used to it's used to break the surface tension of the water, so any smaller pieces of gold don't float away. And that may sound a bit odd because gold, why would gold float? Gold is really heavy. It's heavier than lead. It has a high density. But if the gold is small enough, gold dust in particular, then sure, it can float if the conditions are right. And I also have some classifiers. That's what these are. I have a 10 mesh, which is this one. That's a 10. And that's a 20. And what that basically means is that you wouldn't be able to see it in the camera, but the screen has 10 squares per linear inch. So the 10 inch is for the coarser material, and the 20 will get the finer stuff. I have a 30 mesh classifier as well, but I'm not going to use it. The 10 and 20 should work just fine this time around. All right, well, that being said, well, I have a snuffer bottle, and I have just kind of a little squeeze bottle that squirts water. So let's see what happens here. Okay, I don't want to ignore the chat. Hi, Linda. How are you? Thanks for joining us. Good to see you. Mike Badger, good to see you. You should come down, pan here in 10. I would love to, Mike. I would absolutely love to. New Hampshire's not known for its. Some gold has been found in New Hampshire, but we're not really known for our gold-bearing streams. And SC Thrusher, hello. Good to see you. And North Jersey Detector. Don't forget the jet dry. It's in there. It's in there, Jason. I promise. Okay, let's get going with this. Let's see what happens. All right, so it comes sealed in this bag. Now what I will do first, this is going to be the coarser stuff. Yeah. So I'll use the 10 mesh and I'll pour this in there. That's how much there is. Kind of a lot, but let's see what we do. Okay. So I just kind of give it a bit of a shake. Okay, so what's in here didn't fall through the 10 squares per inch of the mesh. So could there be gold in here? Sure, there could be. So what I'll do is just take that and put it in this bowl. Save that for later, but you get the idea. That's the coarser part of the dirt. And this is the finer part of the dirt, and that's what we're going to pan. So let me situate this, so I'll move this over here. Like I said, I've not done this live before, certainly in my office. Ah. Okay. So there's the dirt. I'm going to get a little bit of water in the pan, just because, like I said, gold is really heavy. It's a very dense metal. And by putting water in the pan just a bit and shaking it like that, the idea is the water gets in between the bits of the dirt, and since gold is heavy, it will sink. And on this pan are riffles. These are the finer ones, these are the coarser ones. So you start with the coarser ones. You can already see things floating. So let's see what happens. And all the remaining pay dirt is going to fall into this Rubbermaid container. So what I do is I just let it dry, and then I collect it, and I can pan it a second time if I want to. And my method is it's really a slow method. I don't rush it. But you want to try to get, I don't know if you can see the more, well, they call it the blondes, the lighter stuff floating off. Some of the little bits of pebbles are floating off. And again, that's okay. You don't really need those, because that gold, in theory, is going to drop down to the bottom of the pan. And those coarse riffles are blocking, well, they're preventing the heavier material, whatever in here is heavy. In this case, it's going to be whatever gold is in here, and it's going to be the black sands, which are metallic sands. Those are going to sink to the bottom, and we'll see those in a moment. Oh, in fact, I see some right there. I see some gold. Let's see if you can. I don't know. Let me see if I can focus this. There's the focus button. There it is. Yeah, it's going to be kind of hard to see, but right there are some bits of gold. But those will reveal themselves in just a moment. So yeah, I think this is incredibly relaxing. I don't know why. There's kind of a zen to it. I just keep working again, the light stuff will fall off, well, will float off. And you can kind of see that what we have in the pan is the finer, heavier stuff, I guess. Let's do this again. Here, actually, let me pour this off and take a look at the chat. Yeah. I bet you do like blondes, North Jersey. All right, let's see. But yes, the people who've been doing this for a while, they're going to do this much more quicker than I will. Or they'll have something like a sluice, which is basically does what I'm doing, but it does it more mechanically. There's a pump that will, or there's a natural flow of a river will push the sand over the riffles. But I do not have a sluice. Oh yeah, I can see the gold coming through. And once you see the black sands, then you move over to the finer riffles. And I'm only going to pan this once, but I'll do the rest a little bit later. Oh, sure, there's plenty of gold in there. Okay, I think we're probably at the point where I should switch to the other side of the pan. See how we do. And if any of these small bits of gold float out of the pan or get away from me, it's okay. They're not, they're going to be in the larger Rubbermaid pan. Oh yeah. It's quite a bit of gold in here. Now, you'll see in a moment, if you're not aware, how I pick it up. I use a snuffer bottle. So I won't weigh it right now, but you'll definitely get a pretty good sense of what's in there. Should have music playing in the background. I did not think of that. Okay, the blondes are still there. They're slowly floating away. And you can maybe make out the black sands now. So in theory, what's in the pan is the heaviest material, the densest material. And that's going to be the gold nuggets. And it's going to be this black sand, which is iron. And it too is heavy, which is why it is resisting floating away. But I really slow down at this point because I don't want to lose. You can see the gold slowly traveling down the riffles, if you can see that. See, the gold is making its way down the riffles because I'm holding the pan at an angle. And there's the gold there. Let me refocus. How's that? So yeah, we just keep an eye in this area, but at least I do. Keep an eye in that area. If you see any gold creeping up towards the edge of the pan, that tells you to slow down. And all right, let's see. Okay, now by tapping the edge of the pan, just the physics of it will push the heavier stuff forward. So let's see if we can get a bit more of this out of here. A bit more of the black sand and the blondes out of there. I usually do this. I'm usually a little closer to the pan when I do this, but I can't do that because you'll just see the back of my head. All right, well, let's see. I'm going to try to get some of that sand out, actually. Let's see, just move that black sand without moving the gold. Right there's a bit of, that's a chunk of black sand, so I can get that out of there. And some people wear gloves when they do this. I have, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Obviously I'm not wearing gloves today. Let me try this. This may be a bit unorthodox, but now there could be some really fine flower gold that I'm flushing away with this bottle, but again, I can retrieve it later. This is just to kind of give you an idea of what this is all about, if you've never seen this before. And it may not seem like much, but gold, I think, is at $43 and a gram. So if I do get half a gram out of this, that's $20+. Okay, I think that's pretty much all I'm going to get for the black sands. So at this point, I just kind of gently swish it. And you're slowly rocking away that black sand. In fact, let me do this. Push the gold back up, push the black sand down. You can see when I do that, the gold moves forward because it's heavier. And that inertia causes the gold to push forward. There's a little bit of black sand in there still, but not where the gold is, but not much. And I can definitely see some little specks of flower gold in there. Very, very tiny. And I won't worry about that right now. Yeah, that is it. And that is great compared to other bags that I've purchased. There's one other bag of gold I purchased from John Wolfe that had a really nice yield. And yeah, there's some other bags I purchased that nowhere near as good as this. But there. Let's see if I can get a close up. See if I can refocus. So there you are. that is it. That is the golden smile that they talk about. So what I do at this point is this. I'll put this down here. This is a snuffer bottle, and it's really just a vacuum type of bottle. It has a hose in it, and you squeeze it, squeeze the water in, and it will suck up any of the this gold, this placer gold, or placer gold, excuse me. So the idea is put the gold underwater, and if it's small enough, it ends up in the bottom of this, in the bottom of that snuffer bottle. Here, you can probably hear it rattling around in there. And then eventually you just get the water out. And you'll be left with the gold. Because again, the gold is heavier than the water, so the gold is sinking, and the straw in here doesn't go all the way to the end. So by squeezing the water out, you're not the gold is staying at the bottom. And I always squeeze it out in the pan anyway, so if I did lose anything, it would go back in the pan. And there you are, because that's just, yeah, that's pretty much just, that's pretty much just the dirt, the black sand. So, that, my friends, is mailbox prospecting. And I have no problem saying that's half a gram of gold anyway. It's probably more than half a gram. But what I'll do is, after I clean everything up, I will get the water out of the snuffer bottle, and I will let the gold dry a bit. And then I'll weigh it and put in the description. I'll edit the description and let you know how much gold it came up with. But that's it. That is mailbox prospecting. That's gold panning. And that is Tom's Gold Dirt. Now, I could do the stuff that's that was 10 mesh that didn't pass through the 10 mesh. Suppose I should do that now. The probability of finding something in here, I'm going to guess, is pretty low, but you never know. So same idea. I believe they call this concreting. The gold will sink to the bottom. And I'll use the coarser riffles. If there is any gold in here, it's going to be at the bottom under here. So I'll just let the action of the water wash away the lighter stuff. But you never know, there could be something hiding in here. And I do keep an eye on what goes down here. Refocus again.